As is our tradition, please join a toast to the President of the United States.
The relationship between the president and the White House press corps is often combative.
Not you, not you. Your organization's terrible. I'm not going to give you a question. You are fake news.
Yet, presidential speeches often produce memorable, even historic moments.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Read my lips. Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
But there is one time of the year the mood lightens, when the president and reporters actually get along just for a few hours at the White House Correspondents Dinner.
I'm really excited to be here tonight with the only group of Americans with a lower approval rating than I have.
For former CBS White House correspondent Deborah Potter, the dinner offers a chance for a little camaraderie.
Some people call it the nerd prom, become more of a sort of generalized DC black tie party.
Ladies and gentlemen, surprisingly, I've enjoyed these dinners.
The first dinner was held in 1924 with Calvin Coolidge. George Condon, who has covered 10 presidents, is writing a book on the history of the White House Correspondents Association. Condon says Coolidge gave such a boring speech, it set the tone for future dinners to have comedians and musical acts as the presidents wanted to have fun.
It happened by accident, but it ended up being a tremendous lure for other presidents because they didn't want to give a speech.
Franklin Roosevelt, famous for his radio fireside chats, delivered his first White House Correspondents' Address in March of 1941. It was more of a speech with subtle humor than the comedic roast we are used to today. FDR said this dinner differed from his weekly press conferences.
For you cannot ask me any questions tonight.
John F. Kennedy was considered by many our first television president. His charisma and humor made him a natural at events like this. At the 1962 dinner, Kennedy poked fun at the press for having tough assignments, like covering his activities while on vacation.
When correspondents are required to leave their families for long and lonely weekends at Palm Beach.
From its inception until the early 1960s, the association was all male. That changed under President Kennedy and a trailblazing female correspondent, according to former CBS White House correspondent Peter Mayer.
Helen Thomas of United Press International very wisely and bravely lobbied President John F. Kennedy. He threatened to boycott the dinner because of the exclusion of women.
A past president of the White House Correspondents Association, George Condon, reports for the National Journal and compares the dinner appearances of Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson.
Kennedy came in and changed it. For the first time, a president gave a funny speech, basically threw out what had been written for him. It was short. It was very funny and self-deprecating. And he set the standard there. So LBJ thought he had to match it. And LBJ just absolutely hated the dinner.
As you know, the relationship between presidents and the press has always been a very intriguing one, kind of a sort of a lover's quarrel.
Media historians often note the ease of certain presidents in front of a microphone, such as Kennedy, Reagan, Clinton, and Obama. LBJ was not one of them.
As some of you may have heard, I've had my troubles with the press.
By the early 1980s, historians said the entertainment value at the dinners was so bad, the organization switched to having just one comedian as host, but noted President Reagan also put on a good show.
It must be exciting, though, being a correspondent in a place where all the political action is. I understand ABC's having some budget problems. The news division has already laid off 3 hairstylists.
If there was a competition for reporters to invite noteworthy guests, George Condon says Bill Clinton took it up a notch.
Bill Clinton gave celebrities permission to attend the dinner. Bill Clinton loved Hollywood, and they loved Bill Clinton. And so you did see a ramping up.
By the way, I want to congratulate the Times on that Al Gore wants to be president scoop.
I also view this as a good chance to put aside our differences for a few hours.
Succeeding Clinton, President George W. Bush noted the now eclectic nature of the audience.
Pamela Anderson and Mitt Romney in the same room. Isn't that one of the signs of the apocalypse?
President Barack Obama had many memorable moments at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
After the midterm elections, my advisors asked me, Mr. President, do you have a bucket list? And I said, well, I have something that rhymes with bucket list. Take executive action on immigration? Bucket.
Obama had fun, even roasting a future president who was in attendance.
And Donald Trump is here. Still.
Donald Trump attended several of the dinners, but never as commander-in-chief. George Condon, who has covered the White House full-time since 1982, said Trump, by not attending as president, wanted to send a message.
He knew he was going to be booed. He knew how tough an audience it is. He doesn't do self-deprecation very well. It doesn't come easily to him. And that's the humor that worked at these dinners.
ABC is here with some of the stars from their big new comedy, Blackish.
From a national perspective, for many, the dinner has turned away from its original intent and into more of a pop culture event, which turned off Peter Mayer, formerly of CBS.
I don't want to exaggerate, say they were trampling over each other, but you can imagine what it was like when George Clooney showed up. Everybody wanted to get a picture with George Clooney.
In the end, with all jokes aside, several former presidents, including Barack Obama, all recognized the power of reporting, from investigative journalism to giving a voice to the voiceless.
At home and abroad, journalists, like all of you, engage in the dogged pursuit of informing citizens and holding leaders accountable and making our government of the people possible. And with that, I just have two more words to say. Obama out.
The White House Correspondents Dinner is a testament to all journalists who have devoted their lives to shine a light on the truth every single day. For WMSV, I'm Terry Likes.